All right, today we're going to decode a secret language. No, it's not spoken, it's written in lines and symbols and numbers. It's the language that literally builds the world all around us, the language of architectural drawings.
I mean, really think about it for a second. Every wall, every window, every single staircase you see, it all started as just a set of instructions on a piece of paper. So, how does that leap happen? How do you get from A to B? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack. At their heart, that's really what they are. They're the one absolutely essential way for the person with the vision, the architect, to talk to the person who makes it real, the builder. It's like a complete instruction manual for a building that's still just an idea. And honestly, this is the perfect way to look at it. A map doesn't just point to a destination, right? It shows you the best route, the tricky terrain, all the important landmarks along the way. Well, architectural drawings do the exact same thing for a building. They lay out the whole path from an empty piece of dirt to a finished structure. So let's actually do this. Let's go on a little virtual build, and we'll use our map to guide us. And just like any good construction project, we have to start from the ground up, with the parts you'll probably never see, but you rely on every single day. Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here, with the foundation. This is the critical link between the building and the earth it sits on. The plans tell the builders exactly how deep to dig and what materials to use. Because let's be honest, if you get the foundation wrong, the whole project is basically doomed from the start. Okay, foundation is in. Now we add the skeleton. These vertical pieces, those are the columns, and the horizontal ones are the beams. Put them together and you've got your structural frame. Their job is super simple but incredibly important. Carry all the weight of the building and push it safely down into that foundation. This is where the building gets all its strength. So, we've got our skeleton in place. Now it's time to give our building a skin. We're going to enclose the space, but we also, need to let in some light and air and give people a way to get in and out. Now this is a fantastic detail. You can't just cut a hole in a wall for a window, right? The wall above it would just collapse. So the drawings specify this special framing. See that thick piece right at the top? That's called a header, and its whole job is to carry the weight that the window opening interrupts. The plans tell the builder exactly how to build this little support system. And then you have this, the actual window that gets installed. Now this isn't part of the wall's structure, it's its own little self-contained unit. It has its own parts, the sash that holds the glass, the sill at the bottom. The whole thing is designed to just slot right into that opening we just framed out. And here you can see how it all comes together perfectly. On the left, you've got that structural frame built right into the wall. And on the right, you have the pre-made window unit. The architectural drawing has the super precise measurements for both, making sure these two totally separate pieces fit together like a glove on the job site. And the level of detail is it's incredible. The plans don't just say, put a window here. They'll tell you exactly what kind. Does it slide up and down like a single hung? Does it crank outwards like a casement? This detail is what makes sure the final building looks and works exactly the way the architect imagined it. Doors, of course, get the same exact treatment. The plans lay out the frame, which way it swings, the type of hardware, everything you need to make sure it hangs perfectly and closes securely. It's this kind of detail that prevents that annoying draft under the door or one that sticks every single time you try to open it. So our building has walls, but what if it's more than one story? We need a way to move between floors. And that brings us to the surprisingly complex art of the staircase. Okay, I get it. At first glance, a drawing for a staircase can look really overwhelming. You see all these terms like handrails, balusters, newel posts. It looks like some kind of wild, intricate puzzle. And, well, in a way, it is. But here's the secret. All of that complexity, every bit of it, boils down to two fundamental parts. You've got the tread, that's the flat part you step on, and you've got the riser, that's the vertical piece that lifts you up to the next tread. That's it. Seriously. Every single staircase is just a repeating pattern of tread and riser. And this, right here, is why that drawing is so critical. The exact measurement of the rise and the tread is what makes a staircase feel comfortable to walk up, and more importantly, safe. If that riser is just a little too high, or the tread is a bit too narrow, it suddenly becomes a major tripping hazard. The drawing isn't just a map for building, it's a map for safety. All right, we've built up from the foundation, we've enclosed our space, and we've connected the floors. Now it's time for the final piece of the structural puzzle, the part that protects everything we've just built.
You know, a roof is so much more than just shingles. It's a whole complex structural system. You have rafters that create the slope and ceiling joists that tie it all together. The plans dictate the exact size and spacing of every single one of those pieces to make sure it can handle everything from the weight of heavy snow to the force of strong winds, keeping everything inside safe and dry.
So there we have it. We've just used our map, our architectural drawing, to navigate the construction of a basic building, all the way from the foundation right up to the roof. We've seen how every single part is carefully planned out and documented.
And hey, if you want a simple way to remember all the basic pieces of a building's plan, the source material gives us this handy little acronym. It covers the stuff we talked about, like windows, doors, stairs, and the roof, but it also includes floors, columns, beams, and the carcase, which is just a fancy word for the main structural body. It's like a quick checklist of all the core parts. And this brings us right back to where we started, to our central idea. These drawings aren't just for experts, they are a universal guide, a clear, logical map that lets a whole team of people work together to bring a vision into physical reality.
So, the next time you walk through a door, or look out a window, or climb a set of stairs, just take a second. You now have a little glimpse of the hidden language, that invisible map that brought that very thing into existence. What are you going to notice first?